Hello and welcome to 5 A Day with Jay. I am your host, J.R. Murdock. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you this evening? I'm glad you're here with me. An exciting day today. Today I got invited by, well, actually last week, I got invited by a close personal friend of mine, Jack Mangan, to be a guest on his show. We spent the day talking about metal, and more metal. It was fun. We were talking about, for the most part, metal songs that have a title that two different bands have done, but they're two completely different songs. And it was a lot of fun. It was a great time talking about music and metal and getting out of my head for a little bit. I've been so in the trenches writing for a couple months now, getting everything ready, and we're getting close. We're getting close to when I drop that first book. I haven't released a schedule. I'm not going to release a schedule, probably not right away. I will drop a schedule so you can see what's coming, so you can be prepared. In 2 weeks, I need to begin uploading everything. So I'm giving myself 2 weeks to really get a lot of these, at least the first 2 months worth of blurbs done and the ebooks fully compiled and uploaded. And that'll give me a chance to begin writing and working on other books and get those uploaded, get them written, I work on writing and work on getting things done, be able to shuffle some duties around. It's going to be fun. One of the things that I would love to be able to do is to work on books for my pen name as well. I know I'm releasing a book every other month. That's 6 books a year. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to have fun getting those books out there. It would be really neat to get the series, The Bassist and Rod Lance, going as well, because those are going to be fun series. I'm going to have, I've already, I think, 25,000 words into the first book of The Bassist. I intended it to be 50,000 words, but it's me. It's not going to be a 50,000 word novel. I can't limit my writing to 50,000 words. I've got a very long story to tell. I tried to condense it and it didn't work. The story isn't necessarily getting away from me as much as I'm touching on more than I thought I was going to touch on. This is something that happens with writing into the dark. Some call it writing to the dark, some call it pantsing. There's a bunch of different names, but again, with the whole story, I knew the opening scene, and I knew the ending probably 2 or 3 chapters. I knew exactly what was going to happen in those and how it was going to run. So it was that whole middle part that I needed to fill in. And The Bassist is, as I'd mentioned before, I was going to write it for Scott Sigler. I wanted to include it in his GFL universe, and I thought it would have been a fun include. Things happen. I wasn't able to write the book for him, so I'm doing it on my own, and I'm having a great time writing that novel. But again, that was one of the ones that I started writing and I put it aside. I will get back to that one because I want to complete it. It's going to be, as I said, under a pen name. I'm going to have the Rod Lance universe of books, which will be, Rod Lance is going to be, I don't know exactly what to call it. It takes place in our solar system. Maybe it's cyberpunk. Maybe it's just regular sci-fi. But Rod Lance is a detective, so Rod Lance, Space Dick. The Bassist is based off of a multitude of different bass players, from David Ellefson to Frankie Bello to Lemmy from Motorhead. So many different bass players, just all morphed. Cliff Burton. A lot of them all just morphed into one as far as their attitude, the way they talk, but a lot more Lemmy in the way he talks. He's just vulgar and rude. And Rod Lance, everything's going to be an innuendo, and there will be a lot of adult material in that book. So those are going to be under a pen name in a completely separate universe apart from the V&A shipping universe. The reason for that is the V&A shipping universe is Minivan Safe. Odin One Eye was the one that quoted that and gave me that moniker, and I'm proud to carry that. There are some, there's no overt sexual content in any of my books. There's no overt swearing. That's just the way those books are. Those books have no need for anything like that. But with the other ones, they will. And those ones I want to write under the pen name of J. Bob. I've mentioned this before. First name is Jay, J-A-Y. Second name is Robert. Short for Robert is Bob, J. Bob. Easy name to remember. I think it'll be a fun pen name to write under. It's going to be fun to work on those books. But my hope is that someday I can get to the point where I have either that entire series done or enough of a backlog I can focus on one of the other books and start getting that series done. And it'd be nice to be able to do a book a month and alternate between pen names and have 2 pen names that are out there in the wild and hopefully finding an audience and people have fun with those books. That's the whole point of all this, is for people to have fun with my writing, enjoy it, and just enjoy the story, have a good time, enjoy the ride. I'm not a dark writer. I don't write grim dark stories. I don't write horror. That's just not what I write. Most of my stories, except for Paradise Palms, are you could read it to your kids and they would love it. Paradise Palms has a couple of adult situations. These things happen. At any rate, back to talking with metal with Jack. Like I said, I got my head out of writing and now I'm back into it. It's the way it's going to go. Sitting down and talking with Jack and Rich and Rob this evening, it was just a lot of fun. And it was one of those times when I realized just how much is crammed into this head sometimes. We started talking about, as I said, songs and bands, metal mostly, and some rock and roll, hard rock bands as well. It was just fun to, oh yeah, I remember this band and I remember that song and I don't know this song. So I'm hoping somebody kept a list. If not, I'm going to have to go back and actually watch the episode myself and just start picking out some of these songs that I haven't heard. I've heard of the band, but I haven't heard of their music or listened to their songs. One of the bands we talked about, Sabotage, and I said I listened to some of the earlier stuff and it really wasn't for me, so I put it down. And one of the other guys was like, no, go back and re-listen and you'll find out when the band changes. And it's like, then that's the Sabotage you will like. It's like, okay, I need to go back and do some listening to some older music. First, I need to get a whole lot of work done, and that's kind of my goal between this week and next week, is to get a whole lot done. So a lot happening, a lot getting done, and I'm still having fun. I've gone from being nervous to being nervous, like dread, to nervous excitement, like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. We're coming up on that date when the first book drops. Yeah, and I'm really glad that I did things so it's going to be a book a month. The short stories, I'm not awfully concerned with the short stories. Those ones, when they release, the short stories are all ebooks except for the compilations. So the short stories I'm not too concerned about. Everything's ready to go except for the blurbs and introduction. I'm going to have fun writing those introductions on some of these stories and go back and revisit them and remember what the inspiration was. The books, I've got the covers done. For the print, I just need to make sure I get the spine correct and get everything in Photoshop right and get it all done and uploaded. A lot of work, but it's gonna be so worth it. I'm so excited to finally do this run and start getting that content out there. And I'm gonna have to start doing some rounds on podcasts, videocasts, people that talk about books. I'm going to be doing unboxings because I'm going to be ordering all of my books, of course. So when I get a new one, check it out. I need to go back and order some of my books that are already in print. I have literally none of my own books. If you have my books, you have more books than, if any of my books, you have more books than I have of my own books. I have a couple of anthologies and a couple of older versions that I've changed the covers multiple times, but I'm not changing the covers anymore. I had one of my good friends buy 6 of my books that I've written, and I told him, yeah, I'm working on book covers, and he's like, tell me you're not changing the book covers again. And it's like, no, you're good with the covers that are already out there. I'm not going to change those again. Those are staying. I'm following that whole theme for the whole series. And if you go to my blog, you can scroll through and you can see where I posted a picture of the covers. Exciting times, exciting times. At any rate, it's late, tired, busy day today. This has been 5 a Day with Jay. I've been Jay. You've been awesome. Until next time.